Hey guys, Dr. Brown here again from Kubo Math, coming to you from Tarlac City, Philippines. I know the weather's been bad lately. We've been praying for the people up north here in Luzon that had a really difficult time with the typhoon that just came through. So we're rooting for you guys, and hopefully all is going to be well for you. So hang in there. It'll be better soon. So tonight we have a continuance of Algebra 2 videos. We're going to look at adding polynomials, actually subtracting them also, and then working a small word problem just to try to understand how to utilize some of the tools that we're learning. So again, this is Algebra 2. So just as a brief reminder, if you were to look at this equation, 3a squared plus 5a in a parentheses plus 6 minus 7a in a parentheses, what do you think about the nomenclature of 3a squared? How do you break that down? Well, a is our variable of concern, 3 is the coefficient, so 3 times a, but a is raised to an exponential value, a to the second power. What does a to the second power mean? Well, it means a times a. It means a times itself 2 times. If this were a times a times a, well, that's a to the third power. A times itself 3 times. So there's nothing magical about exponents. Just understand, well, there is one rule that's a little bit odd, I think. If I have a to the m, and that's raised to the n power, let's say I have a squared, a to the second power, raised to the third power. So it's raising this entire parentheses, it's a difficult word to say, up to the third power. So I'm multiplying inside that parentheses. A to the second power is a times a, and it says I have 3 a times a. Well, so now what does that mean? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's a to the 6th power, which is the same as a times m, or raised to the m times n. So when you're raising an exponent to an exponent, you're multiplying the exponents. That's a little different if I have a to the m times a to the n. I'm not raising the exponents to another exponent. This is a times m plus n. If you go to our video in Kubo Math dealing with algebraic rules, and I'll apologize for the video, has some fan background noise. As you know, here in the Philippines, it's hot. But tonight I may start sweating because I've turned all the fans off. But in that video, there's some background noise, but there's 27 minutes of algebraic rules, and this is the type of logic we walk through. So I would encourage you to refresh your rules knowledge and go back to that for just a little while. Okay, so enough of that. Let's move on to adding polynomials. If we had, let's say, before we go there, Pac-1, watermelon, plus Pac-1, what does that equal? Well, that's 2 Pac-1, 2 watermelons. If I have, let's see, if I can draw sagging, banana, plus sagging, that's 2 sagging, 2 bananas. Now, can I add 2 watermelon, 2 Pac-1 plus 2 sagging? What does that give me? Those terms are not alike, so I cannot add them. It's still just 2 Pac-1 plus 2 sagging. No difference. And by the way, I know a little Tagalog, so I'm dangerous maybe. The kids here, they try to every day teach me a new word. I learn it, oh, I have it. I go to sleep and the word fall out. So the next day they mention the word. Oh, what? I lost the meaning. But Tito, we just did the word yesterday. I know, sorry. Anyway, so I don't do so well, but I try. Okay, so we can't add unlike things. It's the exact same in this problem here. I have 3a squared, and by the way, what's the rule for different parentheses? There's the commutative property. It says if I have a plus b, parentheses plus c, that's the same as a plus b plus c. There's no difference. So it's almost like, or it is, as though the parentheses in this case has no meaning when I'm just all adding or all subtracting. So let's challenge that. 1 plus 2 plus 3. So the parentheses, 1 plus 2 equals 3, plus 3, that equals 6. And that should equal 1 plus 2 plus 3. So 2 plus 3 in parentheses is 5, plus the 1, well, that does in fact equal 6. So the commutative property says I can drop these parentheses off of this one and use this to add things together. So let's do that. 3a squared plus 5a plus 6 minus 7a. Well, just like the pack 1 and the sogging, I can't add those two together. So here's my pack 1, here's my sogging. I guess this is a papaya. This is another sogging out here. So I have 5 bananas and 7 bananas, so I can group those together. So 3a squared, 3a to the second power, plus 5a, I'm going to pull this minus 7a to it here, plus 6. Okay, let me get rid of my pack 1 and my sogging. So now I can use, what's the rule? I can use, there's a rule here with adding these together. If I have AB plus AC, it says I can factor that A out, put it to the outside of that parentheses, and that's the same as B plus C with A over here. So there's no difference in those. So having said that, and that's the distributive property. Again, go to that video I mentioned earlier. So we're going to use the distributive property here, and we're going to factor the A out. So I have 3a to the second power plus some parentheses times a, that's 5 minus 7. So if I use plus 6, if I use the distributive property, I multiply in here, that's 5a minus 7a. Well, 5 minus 7 is a minus 2 times a. So 3a to the second power minus 2a plus 6. So if I add these together, that's what it gives me. Now we can do this in an old school way. I just thought of this. We could say 3a to the second power plus 5a plus, I have a to the second power, a to the first power, but I don't have a constant out here, so I'm going to put 0 just as a placeholder. And I'm adding 6 and a minus 7a. Okay, 6 plus 0 is 6. 5 plus a minus 7 is a negative 2. And 3a to the second power. 3a to the second power minus 2a plus 6. So we could organize the pack 1, sogging, and papaya. We can put those in their respective column such that we can keep things straight. So old school way You'll see this method a lot in your school training. What if we took the same ones and subtracted them? Let's go back and try that. So take that one and just subtract it out. All right, so I've got 3a squared, and again, since the commutative property says I can do some things here, so plus 5a. Actually, let me change this up a minute. So if I'm subtracting that parenthesis, 6 minus 7a, I have to distribute that negative into the parentheses. So I have 3a to the second power plus 5a minus 6. A negative or minus a negative is plus a positive, so that's plus 7a. So now let's collect my terms. So I have 3a to the second power, 5 plus 7 times a minus 6. So 5 plus 7 is 12. So I have 3a to the second power plus 12a minus 6. So that would be if I were to subtract those two parentheses. I do have to distribute that negative into the parentheses to make that happen. So that's adding and subtracting polynomials. Keep your PAC-1, your Saging, and your papaya in their respective bucket, and you'll always maintain and work with the proper variables in that manner. Now, as we learn all of these things, what's the goal? The goal is to be able to take and work real-world problems by utilizing math. And if you want to make a difference in your life, learn math. I grew up on a hog farm. Okay. Then later, working on the farm, you're repairing equipment. Now, I'm just a kid, okay? 8 years old, I'm raising my own pigs. By 10 years old, I'm rebuilding engines. And I worked for the next 20 years for 8 years as a gas mechanic, 13 years or 12 years as a diesel mechanic. Went to college later in life just to work on refrigeration units. I actually went just to learn electronics. And one of the teachers there convinced me to go to college. Now at that time I had a wife and 3 children. It was very difficult. 4 years later I had a BS degree in electrical engineering technology. A few years after that I had a master's in business. Several years after that I had a PhD in reliability engineering. Math absolutely changed my life. And so I'm retired. I have spinal stenosis, so I can't work. But I don't want what I've learned to die with me. I want to share that with you. And I can't over-convince you. I can't push this enough to say that if you want to change your life, study your math. Math, math, math. Practice it whatever you do and become good at it. They say professionals, well, the difference between an amateur and a professional, an amateur does something until they get it right, but a professional does it until they can't get it wrong. Be the professional. Study your math. So here's a problem. I'm a rah-rah, exciting, I want to share with you and try to help change your life. Okay, we have 2 people here in this problem. Pam is 3 times as old as Jody. So let's let Jody, X equal Jody's age today. And it says Pam is 3 times older than Joey. So 3x equal Pam's age today. I love word problems. To me, that's real life. In 5 years, 5 years from now, well, how old will Jody be in 5 years from now? Well, she'll be x plus 5. Okay? In 5 years, Pam, Pam will be twice as old as Jody. So twice this age will equal her age in 5 years. So let's use, wow, the distributive property. Let's distribute that 2x in here. So we get 2 times x is 2x plus 2 times 5, which is 10. And that equals 3x plus 5. Well, let's see. Let's get all the x on one side. So I'm going to take 2x minus 2x plus 10. And that equals 3x minus 2x plus 5. So I've subtracted 2x from both sides. 2x minus 2x gives me 0. So I'm only left with the 10. 3x minus 2x gives me 1x plus 5. Okay, so now I need to subtract 5 from both sides. So 10 minus 5 is 5. 5 minus 5 is 0, which leaves x. X equals 5. So it's saying that this person's age is 5. This person's age is 3 times 5 is 15. Okay, 5 years from now, 5 plus 5 is 10. 15 plus 5 is 20. Whoa. They were saying 5 years from now, this person is going to be twice as old as that one. So 5 years from now, this one's 20. That one will be 10. And they will be twice as old. These are just some simple things. Adding polynomials, understanding variables, coefficients, exponents, understanding to keep our Pac-1 separated from our sagging from our papayas. Okay, we can't add those variables that are different. And then just went through adding, subtracting them earlier, and then a small word problem here. Study your math. Study, study, study. So our goal here with our videos is, since this is an Algebra 2, is to try to get ahead of the schools and teach ahead of where you currently are, so you'll have a reference. So I'm trying to get these videos out as quickly as possible and do a few every day if I can. So that's my plan. It's always good talking to you. I hope everyone is safe from the typhoon, and we're looking forward to speaking with you again in the coming days. So have a great evening, and remember, practice your math, and together let's build a better tomorrow. Thank you.